They earned them silver bracelets. But that ain't the only thing that's been crazy popping off this week. Pam Bondi, she unemployed. Christy Noem, her husband's a cross dresser apparently,
Reassigned. Pam Bondi is going to be,
reassigned.
but they say there's no job for her.
Well,
So,
that sounds like you've been fired.
well, she can join Jaden Ivey. It's not a good week for MAGA Christians right now.
No, no, it's not.
Jesus didn't erect for this.
Speaking of Jaden Ivey, segue is right there. The Bulls cut Jaden Ivey after a series of Instagram lives where he denounced the LGBTQ plus community, Catholics, and a bevy of other things.
Okay, is the plus like the upgraded version of LGBTQ? Like, do you get more letters and more accommodations than just being a regular LGBTQ?
You get 4K. You get 4K with the plus
Okay. Okay.
instead of the standard membership.
Definitely don't want to be insulting the plus members. They pay a lot
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that membership.
Yes, they do. And they got a lot of power that comes with it.
Jaden Ivey found that out. How do you lose your job
It's
and your wife? And you didn't even slide in anybody inbox. Damn.
apparently he has been inboxing and annoying people, but other than the Catholics and the LGBTQ plus community, he called out the NBA for promoting Pride Month, saying it celebrates unrighteousness. He also said the Bulls cut him for conduct detrimental to the team
He wasn't with the team.
why they yeah. So his question is, why didn't they just say they don't agree with his stance? Why did they say that it was kind of detrimental to the team? And what did I do to the team? What did I do to the players? This is basically everything he said on his Instagram live. His several Instagram lives that are still on his page. Last I checked, there's been a various amount of rants. He was calling out Steph Curry, and one of them,
That had the 50 Cent. Why you want to say fuck me for?
one of the holiest players in the league. He said, "What did I do?" But I'm going to start this conversation right there where he left off. He's claiming the Bulls cut him for a reason that is not consistent with what he believes happened. He doesn't believe that his conduct had anything to do with the team. It's not detrimental. They just don't like what he said. So I'm gonna ask you, Q. First off, where do you think the line is between freedom of speech and consequences as they are given out in professional sports?
The line is underachieving former lottery pick versus Ant-Man using a slur and being all NBA. There's your line. Let's be honest. There is your line. The minute you're not special is the minute you're disposable. That's when your freedom of speech has more consequences and you get that belt to ass. Let's be honest. As far as what Jaden Ivey said, I don't think it's appropriate. I think we should leave marginalized groups alone and not condemn them based on religion. We are in a country that does not have a national religion. So, I mean, if you're going to represent an inclusive company, I think you should leave those hot topics alone. I'm not condemning Jaden Ivey's comments because I do believe in freedom of speech and I do believe in people being able to express their opinion. And at the end of the day, I'm not God. That's for him. I don't judge anybody, but Jaden Ivey felt that's what he needed to do to express. But the consequence of that is you're no longer in the NBA. And you're not good enough to make those comments. I'm gonna be honest. There's a double standard in sports. If that was Michael Jordan in 2026, would he have been waived the next day? Absolutely not. That was Tony Kukoc. Tony would have been fined and benched. He's Caucasian, so he would have been fined and benched. Scottie Pippen, maybe fined and benched. But yeah, I think people aren't understanding that Jaden Ivey's freedom of speech was not compromised. He is continuing to talk on Instagram Live. Nobody is coming and force him to be quiet. But when you represent a league, you represent a franchise, and people are mistaken saying the NBA punished him. The NBA didn't punish him. That was the Bulls. This was dumb. At the end of the day, we just know his Instagram live rants, and as you alluded to prior, he has been preaching inside the locker room. It's probably a culmination of events. One isolated event, even though this was a big isolated event, doesn't generally get a player the boot. There are things that go on away from the cameras behind the scenes, and they probably just had enough of Jaden Ivey. And apparently, he's been on a religious sabbatical since Detroit, or a religious rant, and that's fine. You are free to worship as you please. I just say that maybe join your tribe, and you will. The cool thing about the Amish is like they're in their own little community with beards and no electricity and the internet. Find your tribe. I'm not here to criticize or judge Jaden Ivey, but find your tribe.
You said it, Q. The thing that got him waived isn't necessarily what he said. It's that he's not good enough to have a controversial opinion on anything.
He can have the opinion. He just probably shouldn't express it to the public.
He can't have a controversial opinion. You're right. He can't express any controversial opinions. He's not good enough. He's averaging what, 8 points a game. He's hurt right now. He's as you said, a former top 5 pick.
Top three.
That was even worse. He's a bust at this point, and you come out and you say things that damage the money. I remember a long time ago. I think it was in the night. Well, I think it was around the time David Stern had first implemented that dress code for NBA players. Right? You remember that
Yeah.
around the early 2000s? I don't remember what channel this is on. It was probably MTV or something along those lines. They was asking Snoop how he felt about that, because Snoop is big in the basketball community. He's a former hooper. This is Snoop back then. This is before Snoop went MAGA. They asked him what he thought about it. He's like, "Hey, they got to do what they told. I mean, when you're an athlete, you got a boss. I don't have a boss. I'm a musician. I can do what I want." And that's exactly where this is go. Snoop can have the murder cases. Snoop can have the controversial albums. He doesn't have a boss. He can do those things. The athletes, when you join a team, you got to be a part of a collective, like you said. If this isn't your tribe to be controversial, don't rock the boat. One band, one sound is what they always say, right? If you are out of line, your pitch is too high, your pitch is too flat, you got to go, bro. And you are not the star of this band, and you're not even a contrib. You're not even Pat Williams. Pat Williams probably would have been able to apologize and keep his role in the squad. You're not even Pat. You got to walk a thin line. You messing with the money. So you're gonna have to get up out of here. Another example, Q. Remember you said if he was good enough, he probably if this was Mike in 2026, he definitely would have got off Scotty, maybe Tony,
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose. I'm gonna give a name for you. We don't even have to do a hypothetical. Kyrie, Kyrie did
Systematic
they,
comments, anti-COVID
br-
comments.
they damn near the exact same thing. What they do. They said, "Hey, just take a couple of games off. Write us a little apology letter. You can come on back." Jaden, you gotta hit the bricks, bro.
You got to go. And for those of you at home, I made a post on social media, and got a lot of feedback saying they're controlling freedom of speech. Well, go to your job and say that. Stand in the middle of the kitchen and take a break from the fries and take your headset off for the drive-through and say, "Hey, you gays are irresponsible and see what happens." Or stand in the middle of your floor while you're selling your cell phones at T-Mobile. See what happens. Hop off your forklift and tell the whole company that, and see where that gets you.
I'm glad you at least told people that they at least got a forklift license. They not just doing the line at
Let me tell you something. All workers at McDonald's, at Harold's, you are the essential workers. Just put the fries in the bag, bro, but you're essential. I don't care what they pay you. I don't want to make my own fries. I don't want to make my
no,
own frappe. Thank
no.
you. You are needed and you are appreciated.
Hmm.
Don't let nobody tell you you're less than anybody else. You keep America running. Well, not running because you keep America fat, but you keep America going. I visit a drive-through at least once or twice a week. I don't eat much processed food, but the once or twice a week that I want to be in that drive-through, I need you all.
I've heard that the Bulls didn't cut him just for this. This has been an ongoing thing. He was speaking out. He was doing this thing on the regular. He had to my knowledge, he had only played 2 games with the Bulls, right? Because full disclosure, I'm not a Bulls fan. I want to protect my mental health.
Shame on you.
I could not be a Bulls fan. I like myself, so I'm going to I'm going to stay away from that. You see what they did. You see what they did to Jaden Ivey, right? But anyway, from what I understand, he played 2 games with the Bulls since being traded to the Bulls, right?
I think 4.
During his time as a Chicago Bull, he has been very preachy with his teammates. There was an incident in which he was with the media. They asked him a direct question about practice. Shout out to Allen Iverson. And he went on a 10-minute rant about, did you have premarital sex with your spouse? Talking to the media about like this.
Fornicating.
Right. That was the word he used, fornication. Well, sidebar. You're a dork if you use the word fornicate. Just say, hey, do you get pussy? Just say that.
And another sidebar. I don't care how much I love Jesus. I need to test them goods before I marry it. Y'all ain't no way I'm not fornicating. Is you cool? That man died on that cross. Y'all told me he died on that cross for my sin. I'm definitely that's a get out of hell free pass. Like, you get the get out of jail free pass. That's a get out of hell free pass. As far as I'm
Hmm.
concerned, as long as I pray, we are saved through the
Absolution. It's
blood.
called absolution.
Well, we are saved. So guess what? Jesus, I'm not gonna do holy matrimony in front of you and the coochie not good. No, sorry. Because then I'm gonna be doing more sins. Now I'm gonna be an adulterer. Now you're gonna be really mad at me. So what do you want out of me, Jesus? What you want? You give me some bad coochie, now I gotta cheat. So I think it's best we fornicate so that we don't have extramarital affairs or a lot of extramarital affairs.
Or I mean, just pour some holy water on the twat. You be okay
Pour some
there.
holy water on it. Pray over it. Say your grace over it before you eat. Bow your head.
The issue with the Bulls didn't take extreme issue with what he said is that this has been a recurring thing, right? And he's in practice asking players about their personal life, what type of sins they get down, how they feel about gays and things like that. It's 2026. Your teammate could be gay.
Shout out to Dwight Howard. Shout out Jason Collins.
I was going to say allegedly, but that's fully
I don't
known.
think I don't, he the last time he was asked about it, he didn't deny it. He said, "It's none of my friends' business. Ain't none of your friends'
That's true.
business."
That's true.
He
That's
sounded like
true.
Genuine.
You know what? I don't even think I need to ask him anymore. I saw the tape, bro. I saw the tape.
There's a tape
Well, you remember that back, what was it, about 10 some odd years ago when I think he was with the
when he was
Sixers.
pinching penises,
Yeah, that's all I don't need any more proof after that.
and
I
I'm
mean,
not condemning his lifestyle. Hey,
no,
be free.
no,
But
exactly.
I will say this: I don't care if you're LGBTQ, if you're a heterosexuals, or you're one of the home of the sexuals. Everything has to be consent. Don't pinch a penis unless that penis wants to be pinched.
We haven't seen Isaiah Cannon since then.
Would you want to be seen? That man might pop up with an NIL deal. Now that Dwight isn't Dwight over in Taiwan?
No, Dwight's back stateside.
He's big three.
I don't know what he's doing, but I know he's going through a divorce with his wife after she was doing another Instagram live, putting coke on camera. So, yeah, Instagram Live is having a moment right
I
now.
need to get on Instagram Live. That might be a portal to some success. I think Jaden Ivey's followers have doubled since then. And you know why? The narratives they're
Yeah.
gonna run with, man.
And that's exactly where we need to go with this. Q, you said you don't condemn nothing he said. You said that his crime really is saying it in a place where it's not to be tolerated. He could have kept that to himself, right? But in this day and age, 2026, it's going to get picked up. Things like that are going to get aggregated by one side or the other. You remember Kyrie Irving? He's not a mascot for a particular political ideology. However, in 2020 or 2021, when you had to get the shot and all these other things that was
The
going
Maggotts
on,
love them. They
they
embrace
ran. He became a champion for their cause. Right now,
Side note, Jaden Ivey has gained 61,000 followers since his Instagram. You know what? Somebody's gonna have to fall on the sword and make a controversial comment on this here Bear Claw show.
that's your
I'm
that's
gonna
your
let you.
that's your role.
We can rock paper.
You already got that one. You already got that one, champ. I set them up. You knock them down. You just go ahead and you just put the controversy out there. Is that probably the worst part about this? Is now they have another mascot for their fake beliefs that they can just pair it out there. Like, look, look, he's being vilified
For
for
his
hating,
beliefs,
for his beliefs in
the left,
anti-gaydom.
they're doing it again.
Yeah, other than what Jaden said, is what he said and what he stands for worse than actually the bad actors picking it up and propping him up, therefore giving him another springboard, giving him an Enos Cantor sort of platform to continue espousing these beliefs.
Jaden Ivey's comments alone, and this is just my opinion, they could be brushed off. We are a country full of wacky people. You know,
Mhm.
I've rode the red line before to go to school. I've seen crazy people a lot growing up, you know? So, no, it's what's worse is that they're making this into something political. That's the worst part. When it's not political, it's just one kid having a mid-20s crisis. We all had our mid-20s crisis. He's having his. His
And
frontal
that's a
lobe
good
isn't
take.
even his frontal lobe is
No, you're right. You're right. You said two excellent points right there. As a father of a young 20-year-old, I cannot stand how they think they know everything. I'm like, You're
I got a
not even fully developed yet."
I got teenagers.
Exactly. You know too. You
They know everything. And everything they see now is better than anything that's been before.
Mhm.
So my
Mhm.
16-year-old son, he was a LeBron is the GOAT. And
Right.
now Shea is the GOAT.
Right.
Why is Shea the GOAT now? Can the man get some longevity? Can he get multiple rings and multiple MVPs, multiple scoring championships before we call him the GOAT? And Wemby is going to be the GOAT to supplant him.
That's the first thing you said that I agree. And the second thing is, yes, the worst part about this is going to get picked up by bad actors who want to do nothing but profit off of this, profit off trafficking more hate. If Jaden Ivey had just said this and no one paid him any attention, they would have looked at him like he was just one of them, like one of them crazy people on the red line. He's just one of them other people standing in front of Jules on 87th and Dan Ryan, just yelling into the air. Just, Jesus is coming back, fuck the gays and woo, 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 woo. And you know what? Everybody would just walk right past and like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Wasn't it a dude downtown? I don't know if he's still there that stands there with the
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
bull.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. Yeah, bro. Last
I ain't seen him in some years. Hey, Jaden Ivey can join him. If you still in Chicago, get you a little bullhorn, bro. And the great thing is that guy started this before the social media
Yeah.
monetization craze. If he started this now, I don't know where he's at. I don't know if he's listening. Dude, get you a Facebook account, Instagram, YouTube account. Monetize yourself screaming into the bullhorn with your hate. You're gonna have about 100,000 MAGA followers by the end of the month.
We would have just excused all of this as just him having a mental episode. And Q, this wasn't not known before the Bulls traded for him, right? He had a Instagram live after he broke his leg, I think it was a year or so ago, in which he said that he was abusive to his wife and he was espousing all these other controversial beliefs, but people just brushed it off. No one picked it up. That's where we're going with this, right? People just say, okay, he's probably just in a mode, or he's probably just in a difficult moment right now. This was known. This wasn't a secret, and the Bulls still traded for him. I've had differing opinions on what the Bulls did at the trade deadline. Some saying, yes, good. Finally, you decided to tank. Some saying you decided to tank too late. But being that they traded for a guy that basically gives them nothing now, they had to cut a month later. Is this just another failure for this organization that's owned by Jerry Reinsdorf, ran by his
Emphatically,
son
yes,
Michael Reinsdorf?
yes. You didn't do due diligence, like, or maybe you did do your due diligence. Maybe you picked up a guy that you knew you can waive and help the tank. I don't know, but it just seems like it's another footnote in the Bulls post Jordan era where they just continually do not do their homework and do not have a pulse on the NBA or the players in the NBA, which is crazy because your basketball team has to employ players in the NBA. They're not a good judge of talent. They're not a good judge of character.
Like I said at the opening of the show, it's been a week. We do hope that Jaden Ivey does get the help that he clearly deserves because it feels like he's having an episode. Watching those lives, I couldn't sit through them all. I'm like, dude, he sounds like he's just rambling on 63rd Street. But after everybody's done parroting, getting what they can get out of this, he's going to be forgotten. He's largely a nobody. No disrespect to him. As we said earlier, if he was more famous, if he was a better player, this would have been handled a different way. But there's another athlete this week who's also struggling, having another mental health crisis. Your boy Tiger Woods. I don't even know what to say about him. When I say I want Jaden and Ivy to get some help, I mean it. But I really want Tiger Woods to say some help. I want his Kaplasian ass to really get some help because the boy is trying to kill himself.
Do you think you can get CTE from swinging a golf club too hard?
You can definitely get CTE from hitting your head against that windshield too often, too many times. I know that much.
Can you get CTE from an injured knee? Because Jake Ivey is definitely experiencing CTE crisis. These two guys have CTE. We've been the NFL has been putting extensive money in research and implementing rules to prevent brain injuries. But I think the NBA and golf need to join.
hmm Why not? Why not? Because Tiger Woods, you know how we talk about Tom Brady having two careers, Michael Jordan having two careers, LeBron James having two separate Hall of Fame careers, like the other two guys I mentioned. Tiger Woods has also had two careers. There was Tiger Woods before he got found to be an adulterer, and everything's after that. We spoke about this new generation. Like, they don't even remember the first one. If you bring up Tiger Woods, they will not tell you the most dominant athlete
And that's
in the
that's the
last 30.
that's the shame about this. Tiger Woods has a case to be one of the most, if not the most dominant athletes, sports
Mhm.
figure, of all time. If he didn't go through all this personal drama and breaks in his career and accidents.
Right. He went from being on top of the world and secretly, banging hooter waitresses, without us knowing about it, to now he's got addiction to pills, he's got addiction to driving while high, got addiction and he still has an addiction to banging fours.
Shout out to Angelo.
Yeah, shout out to the homie Angela. I don't know where we are. I mean, mental health in this country is still kind of like looked down upon, but in the opioid crisis is still, it's still mostly a white person thing. And Tiger Woods, hey man, he does play white. I mean, yeah. So he is in that phase. Did you see when he got arrested? When the police said, "Hey, you got to come over here. Hey, you got to come over here. You got to stay close to us." And Tiger Woods got off the phone. He's like, "Oh, I was just on the phone with the president, bro." Bro, your car is upside down. Let's knock it off, okay? If I'm going to arrest you for being and you're Tiger Woods, I don't care that you're on the phone with the president. You still got to go sit down for a second. But past the levity of the conversation, Trump did have Tiger and a bunch of other people in the White House recently to talk about fixing sports and all the other stuff lately. Should there be a conversation had about having mandatory mental health awareness with these athletes? Mandatory substance abuse programs or anything like that. Shouldn't that, if Trump is going to use his power to put his nose in the sports, isn't that where you think that is a perfect place
I mean,
to be thumbing the scale?
I think I want to go further. I think RFK and they've made announcements and changes that they're going to get back to more physical fitness. I haven't been in grammar school in a long time, but they're going to emphasize health and physical fitness in grammar school. More fitness classes. I think
Mhm.
instead of just getting kids in shape, we need to make sure that their mental health is progressing the right way. I think we go through school and we've been taught gym class and health. I think there needs to be more attention, not just for the athletes, but for the kids growing up, progressing through grade school and high school. I think we need to focus on that even earlier than when these people become adults and high profile sports figures and celebrities.
Agree, man, because what's going on? Because Not we talked about Jaden Ivey and, what his comments will disparages a whole community and inflames hatred towards those communities. Tiger Woods, his actions can kill somebody, not to mention himself.
Yeah, yeah. In all seriousness, reckless driving in cars, like I don't think people realize exactly how many deaths are accounted for in Illinois and Chicago, um, that are vehicular related. We already know Chicago, has a lot of murders per year, but I don't know if people are aware that the vehicular deaths are right on par, and sometimes they're high. In Illinois, you're more likely to die from a accident, a car accident, or being hit by a car than you will from a murder in the entire state. So I've never understood why it's not more focus, more outrage on these car accidents, and maybe more enforcement to driving. Now we all run late and drive fast, and especially Chicago, we don't like to wait at red lights. I mean, seriously, we gotta do better with our responsibility for driving. We gotta be more responsible on the road.
You're right.
Need a Garrett's popcorn break.
All right, let's segue to other things that happened this week. NFL owners meeting. All the head honchos, all the HNICs. Well, ain't that many HNICs. Just Aaron Glenn, and that's it. Do better. Do better, NFL.
Sometimes even when you're